What's up, good people? Welcome to TajeAstrology. It's time for a little astrology gossip. Let's take a look at these celebrities' astrological placements to see what they're really like behind closed doors and take a look at the energy that's around them. Yeah, we gonna be all up in their business, but keep in mind that all readings are for entertainment purposes only. So you ready? Let's go.
What's up, everyone? It's time with Taje Astrology. I hope all is well. Today, we are going to take a look at no other than Mr. Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Now, I like 50 Cent. I like his music. I like Power. I didn't really get into the offsets of the Power series, but I did like Power. I was there every week. I'm a little older than 50 Cent, but his music was popping back in the day, and I still have a lot of his music in my on rotation. But if you know 50, you know that he has been doing what he do, which is basically give people hell in these social media streets. So at the time of this recording, I believe that he is into it with Clarissa Shields and Pat Poose. I think the last I saw is that he has teamed up with someone, I guess, that Clarissa had may or may not mess with um, in the past or maybe recent past. And they've been dropping receipts. And come to find out, this man, I can't remember the name, knows 50 Cent, right? I don't know how we got to this place, but yeah. And then he's also into it with Ti, Tiny, and basically Ti's whole family, right? So, and I'm sure there are some others. I'm sure there are some others that I am unaware of because I think maybe there might be a couple of other rappers that's calling him out. I think Pat Poose recently dropped a diss record. I'm not certain if 50 dropped one back. It's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff that's going on with my man here, 50 Cent. I know that in the past he bought out Ja Rule's concert tickets so the so the fans couldn't buy any. And I seen a video some years back where the arena was empty. I don't know what happened between him and Ja Rule. I know that he had some shit going on with Floyd Mayweather. I did see a couple of videos of him trolling him. And then, of course, we all know that he is Diddy's biggest troll. And so much that he co-produced and funded the documentary about Diddy's life. And if you all follow Diddy's trial like I followed Diddy's trial, he also trolled the whole entire trial, right? So, I would say that his antics, if nothing else, are impressive enough for me to want to take a look at his chart. I see people by their zodiac. When I look at people, I see zodiac signs. I see influences, I see aspects, what have you. So of course I want to take a look to see what this brother had going on in his chart because he, as of right now, I can say from what I can see, he is the greatest troll of all time. So I want to see, okay, what does that look like in chart aspects? So y'all ready? All right, let's go. All right, so now we all know that he is a Cancer sun, right? And as you can see, this is his chart in the visual here. He's a Cancer sun with Saturn, right? Now, so Cancers, they're known for being nurturing, but from what I have seen, that is the nurturing aspect is more typical in women, right? Cancer men are like they're more supportive than nurturing. And that's basically if they get their like basic needs met, or they feel that they're not being played, or they have established that you're loyal to them, then they're going to be supportive. But I wouldn't necessarily say nurturing. But if they have established that you are like worthy of that support, then you can probably get whatever you want from them, in that aspect. So I guess that is like the Cancer man's way of nurturing, right, through support. We do know that Cancers are moody, right? So that's kind of universal. They can get cranky, right? But they can also be very good listeners, and they can be patient when they're not in one of their moods. And we know that Cancers are ruled by the moon, and the moon changes signs with like every 2 hours. So that is how quickly or how often Cancers can change their mood, because as the moon moves throughout the zodiac, throughout the wheel, it makes different aspects. And so, they can, and trust me, I have Cancer rising, so I get the moodiness, okay? I get the moodiness. But anyway, Saturn is right there, right next to, let's see, Saturn is at 21 degrees, so it's right there next to his moon, right? And Saturn is the disciplinarian. Saturn is going to teach you lessons, right? uh, and also with this, he may have found that he he may have been a little bit more mature than the rest of his peers per se, or he may have been a little bit more emotionally disciplined, or have the appearance of emotional disciplineness. He really kind of may eh, display his emotions in a different kind of way, right? And so I think with Saturn right there, um, his moodiness is going to be like issuing karma, right? Or bringing about karma, or teaching the lessons, right? And with that son right there, he's is that's proud. Like, I'm proud to issue this karma too, right? All right, you can also see that he has, and I think this right here is the kicker. This is the beginning of seeing what we see in real life, right? And he has Moon and Mercury in Gemini, right? So the moon is emotions, right? Uh, it is. It's also the mother, right? But in this aspect, we'll talk about the moon being emotions, as feelings, is tapping into that energy. Mercury is communication. It's thought, it's intellect, right? And it's in Gemini, right? Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so Mercury is at home in Gemini. So this is communication. This is advanced communication. This is a lot of is communication perfected, right? Gemini is like the trickster of the zodiac sign, right? Gemini will say and do things just to get a reaction, and for their entertainment purposes only, right? And so I think that this right here is the beginning of what we see as 50 Cent, the online troll. All right. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about this a little bit later, but let's move on to his Uranus, right? So he has Uranus in his Libra house, right? He also has Pluto there too. Pluto's transformation. Uranus is unexpected, it's thinking outside the box, is unorthodox, right? And so um, his Uranus is making an aspect to his Mercury in Gemini, right? So this right here is the unexpected, out the blue things that he says and he does, and it's the memes that he makes, and it's like, how did he think of that, or where did he get that from? It touches the population, right? Because of course he has a big platform. He has a lot of followers, right? So he has a lot of eyes on him, and so that is the group aspect of it where he's, yeah. And I do believe that with that Pluto there in the house, because it's in his Libra house, and Libras, they try to bring about justice, right? And they try to balance things out, right? And so when he sees something that is out of balance, or maybe even out, need I say, triggering or something like that, that he's going to put stuff out there that's going to jolt the population, that's going to bring awareness to the population, is going to expose whoever it is that because in his mind he's balancing. He is the law. Let's just say that with, especially with the Saturn there in his Cancer house, he is the law, or feels that he is the law of the social media streets, right? Now, the Uranus is making a challenging aspect to Jupiter, Chiron, in his Aries house, right? And then we also see that Mars is in Taurus. Now, Jupiter and Chiron in Aries, to me, that could be like a wound around the self, right? Because we know that Aries is the self, it's appearance, it's the body, it's attitude, it's the identity, it's also like the approach to life, right? um this could be like an inflated ego, and he may have, with Chiron is the wounded healer, right? So he may have experienced some type of wound around those topics of self, the appearance, the body, and the identity. And he may have been able to disconnect from that, and maybe even project that onto others, right? Uh, it also could be recreating self, right? Thinking outside of the box on how to overcome that wound of self. Because even though Chiron is there, we have the ability to heal from whatever trauma we may have experienced early on in life, right? Now, with Taurus right there, now Taurus is, Mars is in Taurus, right? Taurus is aggression, Mars is aggression, is passion. Taurus is stubborn, right? And it's right next to his Chiron. And so that is stubborn, aggressive energy, right? But it's also determination and a drive for success. So he may have experienced some type of trauma earlier on about not being uh, successful or grounded, not maybe having the determination and drive that he wanted to be, or not being as successful. But with Jupiter there, Jupiter expands it, expands that, and Mars is that driving passion. So he was able to turn that around and to make whatever it was work for him. Now, uh, we have Neptune in Sagittarius. So Neptune in Sagittarius, that is, it's high creativity with that Neptune there. It's higher thinking with in Sagittarius. It can also be martyr energy, because martyr energy comes with Neptune, and it can be easily hurt feelings, because it is making an aspect to his moon, right? um Especially with that moon in Gemini, words could probably hurt his feelings. And with Cancers, they have the hard protective shell on the outside, but inside they're squishy, and so they hide their feelings. They have, what they're thinking sometimes behind their that shell. or at least the hurt feelings behind that shell. So I do believe that he internalizes what is said to him, what things that may even trigger that Chiron influencing, or it could just be things that hit him wrong in whatever mood that he is in. Now, there has been some talk that he might be feds or something along that line. With Neptune and Sagittarius, that can be dealing with the law, because Sagittarius is the law, and in Neptune, natural placement is Pisces. Pisces is could be jail. We know that he also did some jail time or was kind of like involved with the law. I'm not really too sure about his earlier life. I think they said he got shot a bunch of times. And then he also has Lilith in his Pisces house, and so that could also be rebellion against the law. So, you know, it's a possibility, but it is what it is. I can look at that deeper another time. Let's see here. So Neptune, like I said, is aspecting his moon and Mercury and Gemini, right? So again, Mercury and Gemini, that's very creative. It's being creative with your words and how you communicate. So of course he's a rapper, right? He's a good rapper in my opinion. So uh, that is Mercury in Gemini, right? But with that aspect to Neptune, that is like having no boundaries with words, right? That's blurring the lines in appropriate, or what should be deemed appropriate, or what is between what is deemed inappropriate, right? With that Uranus influencing that moon as well, and or that Mercury, that's unexpected words. That is saying shit out the blue. That is just going ham, right? And then Mercury in Gemini. Gemini is also the house of social media, right? So really what we're dealing with, like I said, that moon changes every 2 hours. And depending on how that moon is hitting his soul, he takes to social media and he goes ham on people, right? And please do not get this twisted. 50 Cent enjoys and gets a complete kick out of talking shit, putting up them memes, messing with people with that Gemini and Mercury. Okay? And he does things because this is what Gemini does specifically to get a reaction, right? To see, I could just see him like cracking up at the reaction. Like he's pissing people off, but he's cracking up about it, right? And I can hear him say, "That's what you get with that Saturn right there," right? Because he feels that he's bringing karma to people. He's teaching people a lesson, right? And again, he's balancing out those scales. And I think that with these placements, he feels that he is bringing a balance to the imbalancing of the entertainment world or the social media world. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't see it ending anytime soon. I think that it is, especially because Aries is about to go into or Mars is about to move into Aries within these next few days, I believe. Let me see. Aries. Let me look at my little note. Where's Aries at? It is moving. I had highlighted it. I thought I highlighted it because the moon is about to go into Aries, And soon Mars is going to be, once Mars get into Aries, a lot of shit is gonna pop off. And so I don't see his trolling ending anytime soon. Um, I could just say stay tuned, buckle up. All right, you all, that's all that I have for today. For 50 Cent, his celebrity reading. This is just a quick reading. Like I said, there's so much that we can see in the charts. I just wanted to kind of just touch on the trolling aspect, and I can clearly see why. It's like that's in him. That is in him. Uh, so yeah. But you all let me know what you think about 50 Cent's trolling, right? Do you think it's entertaining? Do you think he's doing too much? What do you think about his antics? Just, comment below, let me know what you feel. And if you would like a reading, like a natal chart reading, you can go on my website. Um, you just go to TajeAstrology.com. Right now, for March, I do have a few spots open for this month, or you can order a natal chart reading report, and it will be in a video form, just kind of like this, and it'll be delivered to your email between, say, 5 and 7 days. All right. All right, y'all. Y'all hit the like button on the way out, and y'all know I will see you in the next video. Salute, salute.